Should I have like a muted live on mine so I read the chat?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do that. I'll have mute.
I'll have the chat up here on the left as well. Shout out to everyone here on the live stream. Thank you for coming on in. Second live stream of the day. But, honestly, I've been doing a lot of deep diving research on different coins and looking at the market. But my buddy XRP Muser, man, he's really focused on XRP heavily. And he's going to kind of fill me in a little bit. I'm also going to ask him a few questions that I have about XRP. And just kind of like, he's going to take the floor a bit, kind of take the yarn of this interview. So, not of an interview, more of a discussion, XRP discussion. I think it's warranted. Number one, I love the XRP army. They're like one of the most loyal people in the game when it comes to any cryptocurrency coin. So like you sneeze XRP and they come out of the woodwork like swoosh, it's like they're like a flash mob. You ever seen a flash mob? Like I believe an XRP flash mob will be one of the greatest things you've ever seen. So so I just I feel like whatever happens with this SEC lawsuit, court case, however you want to call it, is gonna set precedents, ripples throughout the industry, no pun intended. Pretty funny, but it will send a ripple. Like we're gonna see repercussions from whatever we see go down, and I think it's that important to talk about. Like if you're not focused on the XRP court case, you don't think it's gonna have serious implications later on for the cryptocurrency space, then you're not paying attention, right? So I believe to help you guys and to kind of steer you guys throughout this cryptocurrency space, it's important that we go over this. So today, sat with Muser, said, let's do this, man. Let's get into it. We kind of came up with it the other day, and we've been planning this. So how's your day, man? How you feeling? Number one question, how are you doing today, my friend? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. It's, nice June day on Martha's Vineyard. That's where I'm from. Can't hate it. It's nice and sunny out there. That's why I get the glare coming in. I got no nice spot to do this in my house because we've been working on it, trying to get it ready to rent out for the summer. So there's a lot of, if you hear some bangs or something, it's all, we're doing some work downstairs, but it's the only place in the house that I can, get away with.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, man. You're good. You're good. They love you, man. They know you. Most of the people know you on the channel already. They want to hear what you have to say. They don't care where you are. You could be hanging from a tree upside down or left, right, sideways. As long as you're bringing in as long as you're real and you're bringing them the information, man, that's all they care about. You know what I'm saying? We know you're not like a freaking you don't have a studio, but you know what? He's gonna be one day. You'll see him. He's gonna have other things to do in the space. He might even come up with a coin. You never know because he's got an amazing mind. But what's going on with XRP, man? Number one, how do you feel about the case in your own feeling? How do you think the case is going in general? And what's your overall sentiment of where do you think what's gonna happen at the end of this?
First of all, a quick correction on the XRP army. We like to call ourselves the XRP community.
Okay. No violence here. No violence here. We don't want to hurt nobody.
I know. I get a lot of stuff in the comments. People don't like the army thing. They like the community. We're a community. We're good to each other. But we're also, the people in the XRP community, we don't like to call ourselves XRP maxis because most of us, we don't just hold XRP. We don't just tout XRP as the only coin. I'm well diversified. I own many coins. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Ethereum, bullish on Cardano, VeChain, many other coins out there that are going to do great in space. So I don't like to say maxi. Maxi is a terrible thing in this space. We don't like to if you just root for one coin, that's nonsense. There's going to be many coins.
That's what cryptocurrency is about. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a collective thing, and especially in this lawsuit. The biggest thing about this lawsuit is people think it's all about Ripple and what they've been doing in XRP. This has huge implications on the whole crypto market as a whole. So if people say, "Oh, whatever that lawsuit, it's all it has to do with Ripple and XRP," trust me, it's a huge, huge lawsuit for all crypto. I just want to clear that up. How I feel about the case going so far, it's going well. Out of the, right now they're going through the discovery phase. So basically they're getting their.
Going well for who?
It's going well for Ripple.
Okay.
For most of the hearings they've had, the judge, I forget, it's Judy Netburn or something. Netburn is the judge doing these first couple of hearings and
discovery.
For the discovery. So they're basically trying to build their case and how they can. Which arguments they can basically argue in the case coming. Mm-hmm. So the main thing right now is Ripple's case, which is I have my notes here. The big thing that'll have big implications for all of crypto.
I know they're battling, they're trying to get information out of Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? They keep trying to make the SEC present a certain amount of data, right? And they don't want to give the data. Like for somehow, like they keep withholding, they keep asking for discovery, and SEC keeps denying discovery, saying no, like you don't have to know this. Like this is too. It's like they say it's like I don't know, it's like hidden information, like right? It's not allowed to be let out or something. But they're saying, well, show us how you regulated Ethereum and Bitcoin, because we should be regulating the same thing, right? And then they don't want to show that, and then they're wondering, well, why don't you want to show that? Now, I only know the basics. I don't know the intricate parts of that. That's kind of a gloss over idea, right? But like, what are they doing? It seems a little shady to me, right? Like, you know, it's like, seems shady.
So yeah, you got the right idea, Sam. We'll start with that argument. So basically, the Ripple has asked the SEC for any relevant documents on how they came to the conclusion that Bitcoin and Ethereum weren't securities. Okay, so they didn't really come to the conclusion. I believe that Jay Clayton, or there was another something, Hinman was the commissioner at the time, and they just made statements, you know, saying that they didn't think Bitcoin and Ethereum were securities.
Yeah.
Now, what Ripple wants to know is, if you came out, you know, publicly and said that Bitcoin and Ethereum were securities, then why not, you know, move further down the line, XRP, Cardano, all these other ones? So what they're asking the courts is for SEC to release any documents that to why they came to that conclusion, and even any documents that why XRP they came to the conclusion that XRP was a security. And they've been they haven't let any gave up the documents yet, and the judges has pleaded twice with the SEC to release the documents, and they still haven't. So I think they have to the 11th, which is I think tomorrow, right? Today's the 10th, I believe.
Yeah.
So they have till tomorrow to release these relevant documents. So it is shady to think that it's taken them this long, and you know, who knows? They could have something to hide, they could not. But it's kind of shady that they haven't released these documents yet, which they're obviously very relevant to the case.
I think, you know, something that I felt like maybe we could do too is, you know, I start asking the questions like, you know, who really runs the SEC? Like I don't even know the chairman right now. I think it's changed hands. Is it Gary Gensler still? Is that, I mean, isn't it, or he's just
Gary Gensler, the new commissioner of the SEC? Yes,
he is, right? And now, when did it begin? Like, why did they create it? Like, what was the point? You know, I like to go back to the origins of some of these organizations, because I'm like, was there a huge insider trading incident that they felt we needed to be protected? You know, when did they start this? You know, because like the RRS, like you can kind of link back to that, and you can see, oh, coincidence. You started right around the same time as the Federal Reserve, right? Established in 1933, which is interesting. At the exact same year of the Federal Reserve, right? 1933, or when we got off the gold standard. A little shady right there. Like right off the bat, even it's forming 1933, like right after we got out of the Great Depression. Once they started heavy income tax, I don't know. I didn't even know that, but it's pretty weird, you know.
You know what I recently found out about the SEC, which is pretty shady to me too, is they make their money off of fees that they win from settlements. They don't get paid in any other way than fees from these cases. So they have obviously an incentive to bring cases against, you know, high-profile companies or whatever. So they want to find a case, know that they have some teeth in the case, and they want to. I think it's like 95% of cases get settled. So they want a settlement. They want money. They just want to get paid out. Basically, I think it was Elon Musk when they went after Tesla years back. Elon Musk said he had no respect for the SEC. That he realized all they want.
He said it even recently. It reminds me a little bit like when you were living in the Bronx, you know, and you know, you were a shop owner, and the mafia came and said, "Listen, like, you owe us, you know, $100 a week," and you're like, "Wow, like I just sell freaking bread," and they're like, "Well, we'll break your freaking windows every week, and you know, you need protection from us," and you're like, "From who?" And like, first they come to you and say, "Hey, you need to pay us for protection, right? To make sure you're all right," and you're supposed to just say, "Yeah, cool," but you say no, and they smash your windows the next night, and so you don't pay for their protection, they end up ruining your business. It seems to be the same kind of code here. You don't pay to play. We ruin your ability to do any type of commerce. I know Brad Garlinghouse continues to say, like, you guys keep wanting to regulate us, but you have other people with similar regulations, you know, like fintech and heavy duty regulation, Japan, you know, Europe, that aren't doing the same things that the U.S. is doing to to Ripple. They're like, dude, most of our money is made, 80% of our money is made, you know, we could move our headquarters and just kind of do business as usual, right? I mean, like, that was a talk for a few months. I don't know what's going to happen now if Brad Garlinghouse was, you know, sending out fake promises, you know.
So over 90% of Ripple's partners and business is done outside the U.S. And the funny thing is that all the other SECs in other countries like Japan, the UK, Singapore, they've all come out and said that XRP is a currency or a commodity. Okay, so it's just the U.S. that's making this case. Another thing that we were just talking about, how shady the SEC is. The SEC is supposedly supposed to be protecting investors, right? That's their whole thing. You know, SEC that
they're there for
investors.
Most government industries. They're supposed to protect the American people.
Retail. Well, guess what? When the SEC brought this.
Oh, Zoom messing up. Hold on. It'll come back. Give Zoom a second. Give Zoom a second. Stay with me, Zoom. Come on, Zoom. No. He's making good points here. Hold on. Stay with us. Maybe after the first stock market shut down. Banda al-Kanai. What does that mean? I lost my dude. Let me see if he can jump back in the room, though. There he is. There he is. No worries. We'll make it through, man. We'll make it through. Wait, hit the audio. Hit the audio. Hit the audio button. You have to every time. Yeah.
All right. What was the last thing you heard me say?
No, you were killing it. You were saying that everywhere else it's a commodity. Only in the U.S. and then, you know, we can band-aid that on from there. You were saying, you know, why?
So, yeah, basically the SEC is the only.
Oh, they're supposed to protect us. They're supposed to protect us. They're here to protect it. Yeah.
Okay, so who lost big when the SEC brought the case was XRP investors. You know.
Oh my God! Like an onslaught, in an onslaught. You know, and even my wife's cousin, you know, he's asking me what to get into, and it was kind of popular. Somehow it was floating through the internet enough where, like, if you didn't pay attention enough to the, you know, due to the news and stuff, XRP was rolling off the tongue of the average person who didn't know much about cryptocurrency. And, like, he asked me a few times, like, what should I buy? And I threw some ideas out, and he's like, I think I'm going to do XRP. And he got in at like 35, 60, 40 cents. And when it tanked to 27 or something, he sold and got scared. And I told him, you can't sell cryptocurrency. You have to just hold it. And he told me it wasn't. Oh, I looked at it every day at work for 2 weeks until I had to get out. It wasn't for me. I guess I forget what it's like to be controlled by the emotions of FOMO and stuff. Like they're not, you know, they come to me, but I'm able to. The average person just, you know, so he would be sitting on, like, what are we at now? 80 cents? Like, I mean, he would have tripled his money by now almost. You know, it's just.
You know, that's a thing that we all learn in this space is like you can't be looking at your portfolio every day, and if you make a trade, you can't be expecting returns in a day, even weeks, months. What is that quote? I think it's like the markets reward the patience with.
Markets are made for the impatient to basically pay the patient. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and the quickest way to say it. But yeah, like the people who can't hang end up forcing the wealth over to the people that can hang. Man, you know what I'm saying? I tell a lot of people, if I knocked you out and put you in a coma, like, you would have done a lot better. You know. You know.
So back to the case, what I wanted to argue or talk about in the beginning was this is the part of the fair notice defense that Ripple has. And what they're saying is a fair notice is that they didn't have a fair notice what they were doing was wrong or illegal. That they didn't know that they were selling what do they call it? They weren't selling an unregistered security. Okay, so the SEC, you know, sees what Ripple's been doing the last 8 years. They don't say anything. For the last 3.5, 4 years, I believe that Ripple's been having meetings monthly with the SEC and the CFTC and all the other regulators, talking about, you know, what are we doing? You know, we want to be, you know, we want to do everything by the law. Let us know if we're doing anything wrong. And they said nothing. Even exchanges asked the SEC can we trade, can we sell and trade XRP? Are we doing anything wrong as a security? And the SEC said nothing for years. And then boom, Jay Clayton's last day of his
Pretty
being in
strange.
office after the
Pretty
administration
strange.
left, he brings the case up. So that's
His
pretty
last
strange,
day?
right?
Like, isn't that like,
Last day.
like, what do you think that means?
Well, if they're not, the optics obviously look terrible.
He doesn't want to handle it, but he wants to put it on. Like, why do you light a fire and walk away? Like, I don't.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jay Clayton's never been a fan of crypto, and which is funny because look at what he's doing his job now.
He went to chairman some crypto. Isn't
Ethereum,
he at Stellar
Bitcoin,
Lumens or something? Or a hedge fund, right?
Ethereum Bitcoin hedge fund that they're trying to now. They just applied for an ETF, and now if they get the first ETF, right, the past SEC commissioner is in this hedge fund. If that company gets the first ETF, that is, they're just like spitting in our face, like, yeah, we're corrupt. Obviously, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, we halted the opposition and we pushed forward our own agenda, and we used the government and the Constitution as a battering ram to take away your rights. Interesting.
And the funny thing about it is the people that came out and said that Bitcoin and Ethereum were not securities, the two guys that had said publicly that worked for the SEC at the time, they're both working or have something to do with Bitcoin and Ethereum hedge funds. So it's like, it's just shady. It's like, obviously, there's got to be something to it. And that's why Ripple's going after that defense. But the fair notice defense is the biggest one, because if the SEC loses this, and that if Ripple can argue in court that they had no fair notice, that they were doing anything illegal, that means that any other cryptocurrency that gets a lawsuit in the future can do the same thing. So if that fair notice argument was shot down by the judge, that'd be a huge win for the SEC, because that means that anybody they go after in the future can't say that. They can't say, "Oh, you never told us." How are they supposed to know it was legal?
Now,
So
who's
if
the judge?
Ripple,
and is the judge in bed with the SEC? Like, I never trust any of this stuff because it's all like.
It seems like the judge at this point is fair. She's being very fair. The way it seemed from day one, it seemed like she wants to get to the bottom of this.
Like, she wants to help the American people.
Yeah, and that's great. And she actually understands the technology, which is huge, because we all know this, blockchain and distributed ledger technology is very confusing. It takes many hours of research and experience to even figure out I think the biggest thing about this market and about the space is that people just don't understand it, and they kind of oh, that's gibberish. I don't understand that. I don't want to invest in it. So it's like when people slowly kind of figure it out and understand what it is and underlying technology behind it, then they're like, oh, okay, this is like Internet 2.0. This is like, instead of information on the internet, this is like maybe value or money on the internet. So it's like, it makes sense after you put that research in for the hours.
Yeah, like I was always like, I'm fascinated now, like how deep you are, how deep I am. I'm like, if I wasn't this deep, like, and I just heard about XRP today, it would take me like a year or a year and a half to like understand it the way I understand it right now. Like, you can't just take a month and be like, oh, I get XRP, like, because there's just so much to it. Like, there's so much to the space. Like,
Sam, when you sent, the reason why I got an XRP, I just tell this quick story is,
Sam,
you sent me a Kevin Cage. I want, at some point in this interview, I want to let people know certain people I follow, and I tell them to follow to get more information on the case and about XRP anyway.
Awesome.
But you sent me a Kevin Cage video on YouTube, right?
Kevin Cage.
Right, he's great. He goes straight to the points, no fluff, just straight facts. But you sent this video, and I was working as a chef at the time, and I had some free time. I was like, I'll watch this video, and I was getting into, I think I had bought some Litecoin and some Bitcoin at the time, and I watched this video, and I'm like, I didn't really understand it, but I understood that what they were trying to do, what they were trying to move money. I realized that XP was fast.
Yeah, how did you take your remedial knowledge of the world and not know much about crypto and still see the value? Like, that's kind of interesting. Like, how did you how did you see the value in XRP? Even, this is very, very interesting.
I understood what they were saying when they wanted to make it the flow of value or money as easy as we move information or emails or whatever. So in my mind, I was like, when you wire money, right, or you send money through Western Union or MoneyGram, whatever, you got to pay crazy amounts of fees. I think it's like anywhere from like 5 to 15%, right? It takes 3 to 5 business days. Remember, business days, they don't with banks, and these people don't run on weekends, which is beyond me. 3 to 5 business days, and it has anywhere from a 5 to 10% failure rate. So it's like, and usually people, this is a big thing that I want to talk about at some point, but I guess I'll just say it now. So payments and settlement are 2 separate things. All right, people need to understand this. Payment is basically the messaging system. Like, say I want to send you money, right? I'm going to send a message out basically saying, all right, I'm going to send you X amount of money. And then you send basically, all right, okay, or I got the message, okay, send the money. That's the payment side of things, or the messaging side of things. The settlement is the actual money being sent, okay? So you'll get the message, all right, I'm sending this money, okay, all right, send the money, and then I'll send the money, and the settlement process that's the long waiting, and usually it takes 3 to 5 business days or whatever, and usually it needs to be done, if it's between 2 banks, the 2 banks need to have a trust, right? So they're not just going to trust that you have the money to give to you. They need trust, basically. So what happens is, if they don't have trust, you would have to set up a pre-funded. So one bank has to have a pre-funded account.
That's getting juicy right now too. It's getting so juicy, man. Getting so juicy. Really breaking it down. Really breaking it down. She's a hip lady. He'll be back. He'll come right back in a second. He'll just reconnect. He lives in an island, everybody, surrounded by water. So give him a break. You know what I'm saying? He's literally surrounded by water in the middle of the ocean right now.
You hear me?
Yeah. You sound great. No, good. You're killing it, man. You're killing it right now.
It's painful.
You're doing great.
So let's get back to. Yep. So what I was trying to explain was they call them Nostro and Vostro accounts. They're basically pre-funded
bank needs it. So we just to bring everyone. We have 2 banks doing big business. What if they don't have trust? They need to set up a pre-funded account, a Nostro. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
So they call them Nostro Vostro accounts. It means that Bank A and Bank B want to do business with each other, right? And want to
hold up. He says they are listening. Happens every time.
Dude,
in the comments.
Unbelievable internet connections. So anyway, so you need to have pre-funded accounts in each bank so they can freely move. So you have liquidity within the banks to move money. Liquidity is basically a pool of liquidity. Is like, say you have a pool of money and you can take money out of that pool of liquidity and move it. So it's easily, so it's frictionless. So you can move money quickly. So those 2 banks have to have pre-funded accounts. So they have to have basically millions of dollars locked in these accounts in order for them to move money freely. So that's only if they have the trust to do that with each other. If they don't, then they have to go through other banks. And it's like, basically when you send your money from one bank to another, it usually goes through like 5 people's different hands. And each bank or each hands it goes through gets a fee.
Is it kind of like this? I'm trying to make a metaphor. Is it kind of like an army, right? Where you send out a soldier, but every soldier needs like a soldier behind him, and then a soldier needs a soldier behind him, and like you need like settlement backing behind every aspect of the entire process. So there's like behind every $30,000 transaction, it's taken like 45 or 50 grand because there's like 20 grand in this account that has to be covered for this settlement and that settlement, and so like it's, you know what I'm saying? Everything has to be over-insured.
Like this way. If you send a package, so let's put it in like as a package metaphor. So if you send a package from California to New York, right? You send it from California, it goes through one UPS store in Denver, then slaps a fee on it. Then it goes Denver to Minnesota, slap a fee on it. To Maryland, slap a fee on it. And finally it gets to New York City, and you have 4 different fees you had to pay for before it actually got to you. It makes no sense. It's like, why would, when you have the actual technology that, Ripple and XRP are trying to do here, I'll tell you why they do it. It's because all these fees, banks.
They make money for a living. There's someone who literally lives in a house because of these fees right now.
But in the long run, we all know innovation wins. Obviously,
they will.
So SWIFT is the company that basically has a monopoly on these settlement or payment, cross-border payments, as you will. So SWIFT has been around, I think, since 1970 something. So the technology they're using is even pre-internet technology. It's basically all it is a messaging system that connects all these payment providers and financial institutions And the settlement is all done like I was talking about with the different banks, trusts, and the Nostro Vostro accounts.
It's a dusty old car, man.
Clunky old, system that they have right now. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. In this day and age where we can, well, obviously my internet's going out, but in this day and age you can FaceTime. When I'm in Thailand, I'm FaceTime my buddy here in the US instantly, or I can send email instantly to someone. We should be able to send money instantly. It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
So this is where Ripple
and we shouldn't have to wait for it either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should be instantly. It should be costless. It really should. We shouldn't have to pay 15% when we send money through Western Union or bank wires or something. This makes no sense. That I just want to send my money across the world and I got to pay 15% or 15%. That's ridiculous.
You know what? My buddy in London just said it. It's quicker to send the money DHL than SWIFT. Like you could put it in a gosh damn envelope and send it overseas, and you can get the money faster to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like.
It makes no sense, right?
Whatever happened to the MoneyGram XRP connection, and why did that seem to fall apart? And like, I was so excited for that. And is it still strong? Like, what's going on with that? I don't see any much news about it.
They were doing huge things. MoneyGram was actually like saving like 90%. They said saving tons of money using XRP, Ripple's ODL, which utilizes XRP. But what happened was the lawsuit came down on Ripple. And they decided to like part ways for the moment until the case clears up.
They just don't want that heat. I mean,
yeah.
Is the SEC like a freaking disease? It's like a leopard. Like the second you have the second, we're not talking over each other. It's just a latency, guys. So like when I talk, we can't tell when But the thing is, why is the SEC like? It just feels like the second you have the SEC next to you, like nobody wants to touch you. Like everyone's like, ooh, like. Yeah, he's SEC. It's like an STD, man.
It's almost like they know what they're doing. Yes, they want the money. Honestly, I think it's just all about money, and they obviously know how big Ripple is going to be and how big they already are. They're already worth $10 billion. They want their fee. They want their kickback.
So they saw a unicorn.
They want their freaking money. So, and they know in the time they want the case to last as long as they want because as they can, because that gives them, more of an they get a bigger fee in the settlement because hey, we can make this last another year if we don't settle now, give them more money. So it's like they know while the case is going on that companies look at all exchanges delisted XRP. They know it's bad for business for Ripple, so they're going to try to make it as long and slow process as possible, and they're doing a good job. I'll tell you that. But so back to the settlement payments thing. So this is where XRP and Ripple come in. So Ripple came out first, and they have I like the way they're doing it. So they have a thing called RippleNet. Okay, RippleNet is basically what SWIFT is doing with the messaging system, but it's more high tech. It's more like a huge database that all of these financial institutions and payment providers can get into. Like they're all into, and they can talk to each other basically on this huge database of messaging, the payment side, right? So that's called RippleNet. And what they're doing now is basically trying to get all these banks on RippleNet first, and then hit them with the ODL, which is the XRP later. That'll save them. That'll get the settlement faster. So now they have the Ripple.
Some people are saying, real quick, I've heard, and from people that I found very intelligent and seem to know a lot about, that Ripple could not even use Ripple. They were like, oh, they could use ODL without using Ripple. Like RippleNet doesn't need Ripple. You know that, right? And I'm like, that's confused me a little bit. Is there some validity to that? What are they saying?
Ripple has so much initiative to use XRP because they own most of it. Without XRP, they're not worth much. They're basically worth what they have in XRP. Mm-hmm. So the XRP's value has a lot to do with Ripple. It has actually everything to do with Ripple because that's how they make money at the moment but it's like, yeah, you could use something else, but why would they? So it's like, it doesn't make sense to them. Why would they they spend 8 years developing XRP, creating liquidity with XRP with all these exchanges? Why would they just like, oh, forget it, we'll spend another 8 years with another crypto and do it again? It's like you just spent 8 years building these railways with all these banks and setting up the liquidity for XRP because you can't move money through these banks without liquidity with XRP. So when you have an exchange that has high liquidity in XRP, which means XRP is being traded a bunch in XRP, so XRP is moving, so it's back to that liquidity pool, the XRP, so that you can easily take out the XRP out of the pools and So it's like you need that liquidity to be able to make these payments. So you couldn't just plug in something else. You have to build that infrastructure up again. It takes time to do this. Obviously, we know because Ripple's been doing this for 8+ years, and we're finally getting to the stage where they actually make this happen.
No, did Joe Katz, the guy, did he work for the NSA? Some people say it was like this is like a brainchild of the NSA. You know.
So I actually wrote this down. So David Schwartz, aka Joel Katz.
Joel Katz. David Schwartz. What is up with that too?
He did coding, encrypted coding for CNN and the NSA before he started. Before him, Arthur Brito and Jeb McCaleb came up with the XRP ledger. And I think the XRP ledger came out in 2011, I believe.
I'm going to throw some terms. What is a Jeb dump? Just for someone who doesn't know. What is a Jeb dump and what does that mean? You know?
Jeb McCaleb. So the three founders of XRP ledger, Arthur Brito, Jeb McCaleb, David Schwartz. Now, those three started XRP ledger. Then they brought in Chris Larson for the business side of things. And they basically, after that, they started Ripple. Okay. And Jeb McCaleb, I guess they fell out. They didn't agree on things, and they just fell out. And Jeb McCaleb left the company and started Stellar, but because he was a founder of XRP, he ended up getting like 30 billion XRP, some crazy settlement. He ended up getting a bunch of XRP, but they made a deal with him where he couldn't just dump it all at once. He had to basically sell a certain amount every month or every 2 months, or it depends on like the market cap or something. There's a algorithm or something they made up where he can only sell a certain amount, so it doesn't affect the price. So they set up that so it doesn't affect the price. So people, when they say, "Oh, Jeb McCaleb's dumping," that's why XP.
You hear it all the time, right? Yeah.
Incorrect.
It's a lie.
It's been proven
it's a complete lie.
It's a lie. You know, they've even said they've showed where XP has been booming and Jeb's selling. And it's like, obviously this is not, dude. People selling, like people, they say, "Oh, they're dumping on us. Dude, there's only one thing that affects most cryptocurrencies, and that's Bitcoin. We can all agree with that. Like everything follows Bitcoin still, and it's going to be following Bitcoin for the extended future until, you know, we see, you know, use cases actually coming out, people actually buying for use case and not just basic speculation.
Yeah.
So now where was I before? So when I was talking about RippleNet, okay, RippleNet is a messaging system that's like upgraded Swift's messaging system. So it's basically a database, think of like Facebook or some like very user-friendly database where banks can message and communicate with each other to send money. So what Ripple did was smart is that they implemented RippleNet with everybody because they all use that basic message system with Swift. So it just upgraded basically that message system. So it was easy for these banks to understand what it does. When it gets complicated is when they start using, they first marketed it as XRapid, but now it's called ODL, on-demand liquidity.
On-demand liquidity, yep.
So it's basically plug and play. Once they're on RippleNet, they can basically plug in ODL right on top of RippleNet, and boom, they're on it. So what ODL is basically, so I put a little diagram to make it easy for people to understand. So customer A wants to send US dollars from bank A, okay? Or customer from bank A wants to send US dollars from US to customer B in a bank in Mexico, right?
Good.
So Ripple has exchange partners. I think it's Bitstamp, Bitso, and Bittrex. They're Ripple partners, and they basically have been building this XRP liquidity with these exchanges for over the years. So they can do this. So what ODL basically is, it's a algorithm. What do they call it? A path-seeking algorithm is what they call it.
Yeah, you can find the liquidity in the.
So here it is. So
it's an octopus.
Bank A wants to send money to Bank B in Mexico. One US, one in Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one in US puts it on, exchanges that money into XRP on Bitstamp, right? Bitstamp gets sent to Bitso in Mexico, and then they exchange that in pesos. And this happens in 3 to 5 seconds, okay? And it's all instantly. The person doesn't even notice that it's going into XRP. They just send the money, and it gets to Mexico. So it's like when you send an email, right? You don't understand what actually the technology behind it. You just know when you send an email, it gets to your buddy instantly. That's what they're doing with money. So it's like, it's as simple as that. 3 to 5 seconds, guys. And it might take 10 seconds sometimes, but imagine 3 to 10 seconds rather than 3 to 5 business days. And then here's a common misconception that people talk about, well, the volatility of XRP, you send that money. What if you send the money and XRP drops and then it's not worth as much when it gets to Mexico? Well, since it's done in 3 to 5 seconds, right?
Yes.
There's no way in 3 to 5 seconds that XRP will, it's like they've proven that it's actually riskier to sending fiat 3 to 5 days, that might even go down more.
Yeah, people trade Forex all day long. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. So that myth has been proven has no.
I'm sure the perfect moment in time could exist for a split second, and if you were selling billions, but I think it's faster than 3 to 5 seconds. Isn't it like a second and a half or something? I feel like it's like under 2 seconds. Like, I feel like
it's quick, man. And like, it's funny because the way most people use XRP, and they don't even think about it. They're like, all right, I want to move my crypto around from exchanges or wallets. I'll put in XRP and then send it and then put it right back in the crypto I want.
Totally.
Because they know when you do it with Ethereum, we know Ethereum's transaction fees, obviously. We know Bitcoin's transaction fees when you get up there.
Raise your hand if you've watched Pending on your MetaMask wallet. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Like XRP, bling. It should have come with a little sound, bling. Like bling.
So, I want to say quickly, I'm a huge Bitcoin and Ethereum guy. I love those two cryptocurrencies. But for the use case that XRP is and Ripple are trying to do, it's not.
How do you feel about the
feasible.
XRP guys who, like, I go to their YouTube channel and it's constant Bitcoin attack, like all the time. It's like they're like,
I hate that.
Don't you notice why? I mean, it's obvious why XRP is superior. They're like, and they just keep like, it's this constant like, and I always say like, man, if Bitcoin tanks, like,
I get hated on. You should see me on Twitter when I just say anything about XRP and how exciting about something. Bitcoin Max is attacked like you have no idea.
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's only one cryptocurrency. What are you talking about? There's only one. Like, one? How can you even think like that?
Yeah, why are we doing this to ourselves? Yeah.
But obviously, Bitcoin is going to be there. It's the OG, man. It's the store of value, but it's slow, man. It's clunky. It's the underlying technology. It's the first cryptocurrency, but it's the name brand. It's never going away. It's always going to be there, and there's a finite amount. It gets burnt every 4 years. Like, it's
dude, Budweiser is the shittiest beer in the world, bro. I'm sorry to swear. It sucks. Bud Light, like, everyone knows they're not good high-end beer. They're the beginning beer.
The brand name.
But like every time you go some guy's barbecue, 4 or 5 guys drinking Bud Light. But I'm just
right?
and we don't condone alcohol on this channel. I'm going over the ideas that like sometimes the things just hung around, like they become the staple, Everyone knows McDonald's is not the best food, but like it's been there forever, so it is what it is. Like, and it's not. That's not a great example of saying, crap should stay forever. But
Bitcoin's the only one, or Ethereum's the only one. It's like, no, they all have their use case. If Ethereum has smart contracts and they have their network, which all these coins are built on. It's like they obviously have use cases other than XRP. XRP is use case where it's fast, it's cheap. Also, so XRP takes 3 to 5 seconds. It's 1,500 transactions per second, which is they're trying to make it actually 15,000 because what they do is they batch transactions together. So that'll be more like 15,000 transactions per second, which is crazy. And then it's cost, I think, 0.0004 of a cent to send. So it's basically free per transaction.
Now,
so I mean,
we haven't talked about the elephant in the room, Flare Network.
So I've been to Flare is one confusing SOB, man. Like I've been diving in Flare so hard, and it's like diving into any new crypto that's like is doing a lot. It just takes hours and hours of research. And it's basically trying to. So let's just actually talk about. So XRP has 100 billion. They pre-mined 100 billion XRP in the beginning. And they don't use proof of work or proof of stake. They use what's called consensus. So consensus is very confusing, but I'll try to make it an analogy. So say you have a room with 1,000 desks, right? Those are your nodes, right? And on each node, you have a person in there that basically controls that node. And the consensus, they come to a consensus. They come to a majority of the consensus to the double spend rule. That's why proof of work, proof of stake, that's why these all, that's why Bitcoin, you can even work. So they come to a consensus that this transaction is correct, and boom, the block is closed. So it's like instead of mining and the computer's coming up with the block that way, this is a consensus. It's very confusing. I'm honestly explaining terribly. If you want to.
Yeah. Also, look what someone just said. He said he meant to say that Ripple has a patent for when transactions are sent across borders. They assume the volatility to ensure the customer gets the stable payment of equal value on each.
I was going to say
side.
they set up when you send it, it's like it's set price, so the volatility doesn't change.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. You're going to get exactly what you just said.
They use a consensus mechanism, so that way that's why people say XRP is greener than Bitcoin and Ethereum, because they don't use proof of work. They don't have to spend all that money on energy costs in mining.
Solana is also consensus. Solana is also a consensus.
Exactly. And
someone wrote, "I want my damn flare. Where is my flare?" You know.
Well, and the funny thing is, back to the founders of XRP, when they came up with XRP, they were huge. They were huge Bitcoin guys. Arthur Brito. Honestly, we don't know Nakamoto. What's the Satoshi Nakamoto?
Yeah.
Honestly, there's some people think that it was a group of people, maybe Arthur Brito, David Schwartz, these people, because they had this.
Some ex-NSA people, because it comes off SHA-252, which is an NSA concept. Bitcoin was created off of.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, when they created XRP, they wanted to basically make a more energy efficient, faster Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the original. So they saw Bitcoin, they loved what Bitcoin was doing. They wanted to make just basically a Bitcoin 2.0. You know, and it's weird because XRP came out. I mean, I think it was called X. I forget. There was a different name for it when it first came out, but it came out like 2-3 years after Bitcoin. So it's OG in the space too.
2015,
like Ethereum,
2014 or 15 for sure. Like it's been around.
Even like 2012, I believe, and then they changed the name to Ripple or XRP in 2015. But it's been around for so long. So it's like the 3 OGs in the space are Ethereum, XRP, and Bitcoin. So
it's funny. People go to the go-to's Litecoin, but like they forget, you know, like XRP might have been here before Litecoin. I don't know though. Litecoin might have.
Ripple. It was called Ripple for a while, so then they changed the name to XRP. So they use consensus. So Flare, what Flare network is basically a hard utility fork of the XRP ledger. So they use consensus algorithm or whatever, and they use. So they have all the stuff the good stuff that XRP ledger does. That's Flare has the same. So the way they say Flare is better than Ethereum is that it doesn't use. You know how Ethereum right now is trying to move towards proof of stake, and it's taking a long time because even what's the Vitalik
Buterin?
Right?
Buterin. Vitalik Buterin.
He's saying that it's going to take a while, and it's going to take a lot longer than we thought for Ethereum 2.0 to come out, because it takes a long time to go from proof of work to proof of stake. So Flare is basically coming out without proof of work or proof of stake. So it's going to be faster, cheaper. You know, you're not going to basically have. So Flare network is the network. Spark token is the native token on the Spark network or on the Flare network. Then you have Flare Finance, which is Flare Finance is basically the DeFi product of Flare network. And then Flare X is their.
This is Spark token too. There's Spark token too, right? Like.
Yeah, Spark token. So Spark token is the token that runs on the Flare network.
Do we get Spark or do we get Flare?
We get Spark and Flare. So we get Spark first.
We're gonna get Spark.
You get 15% Spark first, which is probably sometime in July.
See, this I didn't know about.
And then for basically how they did when you had XRP, they gave you the same amount of Spark. Yeah. For the amount of Spark you have, you get the Flare token.
Yo, crazy we're doing this. Today's the last day. Because people didn't realize tomorrow is the last day you can, because even if you had a Ledger Nano X, everyone knows they did the snapshot or whatever, and you could have just parked yourself. I parked myself on Coinbase and Binance, and they both say they're both gonna do their thing.
Put it in a wallet. And you get
so even if you had sold all your XRP right now, as long as you had XRP at that time, you don't need to hold XRP anymore. Some people think they still need to hold the XRP all the way until you get your Flare. You just needed to hold the XRP at the snapshot. A lot of people bought XRP for the day just to get the Flare. That's why XRP sold off. A lot of people was like, why did XRP tank the day after the Flare? Because people bought XRP for a minute to get the snapshot and dumped XRP. See what I'm saying? They tried to get in and get out.
Crazy night? I was in Costa Rica when that happened. I bought some extra XRP, held it on Binance, and I was like, oh, I'll just sell it when the snapshot ends. You know, when the snapshot ends, I'll just sell it. And I just was sitting there waiting for the sell button. And I remember, I think it was like Alex Cobb or something had it on like live stream. he's like 5, 4, 3, and then all of a sudden
sell it at 5.
I dropped like 25 cents in like a second. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
But I mean, so back to Flare.
So my friend was a noob. He goes, "Why the hell is it tanking the day this? I don't understand." And I'm like, "It's by the rumor, sell the news, man. Like it's by the rumor." 145 people watching, 66 likes. Can we get the likes up to the watchers?
Get that likes up. Let's go
for my man, over here. Freaking bought an XRP hoodie for this day. I'm just
no, I bet.
I'm not. He's had this.
Funny. My brother bought this right when XP was booming. When we were in Costa Rica, he bought it on Amazon, and he got him like, yeah, XP. And then the SC lawsuit came and it tanked me. I was like, I should put it away for a couple months.
Could fold that back up. That's like my bunny hoodie. That's like my bunny hoodie. I bought my bunny hoodie. Ordered it when Bunny was booming. It comes in the mail. Bunny gets hacked like the day after. I'm like looking at my bunny hoodie like, okay.
Yeah, right. Is that a sign? What's going on?
Yeah.
So back to Flare. So Flare network is a network. Spark is the native token on the Flare network. Flare Finance is the DeFi app on the Flare network. Flare X is basically the Uniswap of the Flare network. It's the decentralized exchange. And the great thing about why they compare it to Uniswap, there's going to be basically no gas fees. So like, Uniswap, I couldn't even use it after a while because the gas fees were so high, it was ridiculous. It's like, you want to make a trade less than $500, you're done. There's no way. So what they're trying to do is basically make a Uniswap that has no gas fees. Now, this is where it gets confusing. Now, when they have Flare wrap tokens, I'm still trying to figure out this whole thing. Now that integrated assets on the Flare network, F assets they call them. I don't understand. You can like somehow stake what they call delegate votes. So when you stake coins, you have to like basically put those tokens in a staking pool or something. Basically, you like give your tokens up for staking. For Flare, they call it delegating votes. So you basically keep those Flare or the Spark in your wallet, and you delegate your Spark in a staking pool, but it's not a staking pool. It stays in your wallet, so it's less risky. So you don't have to actually give up your tokens. They actually use your tokens while they're still in your wallet because you're delegating the vote for the network.
Interesting. Okay.
Like I said,
you're like a node.
There's a lot of videos.
Mm-hmm.
I actually brought. There's
a lot of videos.
We're talking about. He actually follows this guy. Mickey
Shout out
B.
to Ja
Fresh.
Soleil.
Ja Soleil. Mickey B. Fresh. He does live streams. He's on Twitter. He does a video I think like every couple of days on the Flare network and what they're doing. They just got another funding round of like $16 million. They're doing big things right now. So you want to follow Mickey B. Fresh. I don't know his Twitter handle, but on YouTube it's Mickey B. Fresh. He has a live stream. He's got a guy called Patty something that does it with him. Very good information. Bear with them because this is very confusing stuff, but more and more you watch it, like we talked about in the beginning, more and more you research and you watch and you get the stuff down, the more easier it's to understand because it is very confusing. I've been diving into Flare for the last month or so, and I'm still like, what's going on? I just want my damn Spark. Come on.
Where's my freaking
Spark
we get
coins 15%, and then they give you, I think it's like 3% every month for like 36 months or something, which is, I understand why they did that. So people don't just dump their tokens right off the bat. And it incentivizes you to hold the Spark tokens because, you can delegate them and get more. I think it's like anywhere from like 5-10%, staking.
I just, I'm like, damn, man, I want my money. It's like,
it's free money. So you're like, where's my free money at?
Yeah. Where's my free money at, man?
I mean, it's funny too because right now they're just selling Spark as an IOU on these exchanges, and it got up to like $2.40, dude. That's wild.
Where can we see the price? The other day I saw the price. I forgot where I found it, and you can see the price somewhere.
BitTrue or Bitstamp, one of the. I honestly, I don't even know. I always usually find the price out on Twitter when people post it or something, because when it goes up, everybody just wants to tell everybody that it went up or it's at what price it's at.
I mean, look at this. On January 6th, Flare sees 1,000% price increase after BitTrue launches FLR XRP trading pair. Interesting. So it may only have an XRP trading pair, but that's okay. I mean, we can see You know, this is gonna put XRP heavy into DeFi. So look, right now I see it right here. Let's do the math. Look up the price of XRP for me right now, and we'll figure out how much Flare is worth right now at the moment. So Flare XRP is going for $1.60. It's going for 1.6 XRP. I mean,
XRP is 86 cents.
Yeah, so it's going for it says 1.6.
I mean, honestly, if it comes out over $1,
right now it's over $1. Right now it's
XRP I own, but
well, look, right now, if XRP is at 80 cents times 1.6, you're looking at $1.28 Flare right now. Still holding strong above $1.
Remember when Uniswap came up?
Wait, look at the chart too. The chart is just on a straight upward trajectory. So if you wanted more XRP and you bought Flare on 529, it was 1.1 XRP. So Flare has been holding its level. Number one, no one can really sell it, right? But it's interesting.
So you can sell the IOUs, but why would people sell an IOU? It's like,
yeah. But it's just, but you could trade it right now for XRP on BitTrue. Pretty interesting. Right? I mean, you can still trade XRP on BitTrue, apparently. They didn't care about the...
I believe so. BitTrue and Uphold are the only two exchanges in the U.S.
KuCoin. KuCoin.
KuCoin. Wait, did they always?
I'm pretty sure you can trade XRP on KuCoin. I shouldn't say things. I haven't done it. But I thought in my group yesterday someone said, no, KuCoin's no VPN. KuCoin's cool, man. Canada's giving them some flack right now. All right, we got to wrap this up. I got like 5 to 10 more minutes, so I want you to kind of hold the floor again, obviously. But we're obviously gonna have to do a second part of this too, because I think there's more information here.
Have to, but I wanted to get into the basically put their tinfoil hats on for a second and talk about what I always say when I started researching into XRP and Ripple. I looked at Ripple and I looked at the total business and I looked at the people running it and I was like, wait a minute, what is going on here? And I put a list together of the board of directors of Ripple. Okay, now it's very interesting. The board of directors of this company. And tell me, with this board of directors, does it seem like that the SEC is gonna put them out of business? Does it seem like it? So first you got Chris Larson, he's the executive chairman and co-founder. Susan Athey, professor of economics at Stanford, graduate from School of Business, also taught at MIT, longtime consultant at Microsoft since 2007. Ange Emanuel served as served in the U.S. State Department, attorney in an investment bank at Salomon Brothers, Harvard Law student, and Stanford University. Adam Trademan, CEO of SBI Asia, previously a software engineer at NASA. Craig Phillips, 35 years in private public sector, senior roles at BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and Credit Suisse. He served as a head counselor to former Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin. Sandy O'Connor, JP Morgan Chase, named one of the most powerful women in banking and finance for multiple years. Rosie Rios, this was the newest addition. Rosie Rios was 43rd Treasurer of the United States and was the CEO of the Bureau of Engineering and Printing in U.S. Mint. Basically, your money has her name on it. And then you know Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO. He actually was big. He was like one of the main guys that started Yahoo. Yeah, he's the CEO of Ripple. It's like you look at these
bunch of losers that probably won't go anywhere, right? I mean, this is
this company.
This is some accomplished billionaires in the world.
A lot of these people joined after the lawsuit, the SEC lawsuit. So it's like, you think these people would jump on a sinking ship? No, they know what they're doing. They've been in this for long enough. They've 35 years, 40 years experience. They know what they're doing. Guys, Ripple is going to be around, and XRP is going to be around forever. So as an investment, I'm not telling you to do anything. This is not investment advice. Get yourself an advisor, all that stuff. But do your research, figure out what you're investing in. There's 9,000 coins right now. There's not going to be 9,000 coins in a couple of years. It's going to be a very small amount. The only ones that have use case that are actually going to solve a real problem in this world are going to be the ones that stick around. So just do your research and invest smart, please. And we should do definitely another segment at some point. Maybe when I get into Flare more and know what the frick's going on there, we could talk about that more too.
This is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. And tomorrow we have a big, we find out some more about the SEC case too as well, right? So
Tomorrow you will know if the SEC hands those documents over or not, man. And if they don't, the judge is going to come on down hard on SEC because she's asked twice nicely. She doesn't want to ask third time. Trust me, she's been really nice.
Might create emotion. Might create emotion.
One quick thing about the case. One quick thing for the.
Yep.
The SEC just came out and tried to bully the courts. Just came out and said that if the judge doesn't, if the judge allows this, was it the fair notice argument? If the judge allows this fair notice from Ripple, then that would cause basically hell for SEC in the future to come after other cryptocurrencies. So like basically pressuring the courts to not allow.
Don't take our power away because we're out of
that's all
jurisdiction.
Like, you can't let this happen, or this will kill the SEC. It's like, dude, you brought this court. So and they're asking for an extension on discovery. They're asking for an extra 2 months of extension to find more evidence.
You've had 7 years to do this. Like you've been doing this like
2.5 years.
Figure it out or get off the pot, man. Like Jesus.
It's just ridiculous. The whole case.
It's very annoying.
They look like a bunch of newbies, man. It's just they don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand technology. They don't understand whatever there is. They're looking for money, obviously.
Yeah. And guys, while you're here, I love the number 77. It's awesome. 77 likes. We have 133 people watching. Can we just get the likes up to the watchers? 100 likes, please, just to push this video going. You know what I'm saying? Get the likes up. So probably we're gonna have a part 2 to this probably in about a week, not long from now. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for the support for the channel. Thank you for everything, man. It's great seeing you, even if it's on a live, you know.
On the Telegram, I'm going to put some XRP YouTubers or Twitter handles on there so you guys know who to follow.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know. Guys, if you need anything, he's an admin in my group. Always reach out to him. If you need help with a chart, if you don't know what the RSI is, you just, if you just want some general information about cryptocurrency, XRP user, man, he's got you, bro. So thank you so much, man. It's great seeing you.
Thanks,
I love you, bro. And thanks for all this information, man. Like, I don't have the time to go into everything, and I appreciate this. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
Yo, that's a stellar cast of people on that XRP list. I mean, name another cryptocurrency that has a list like that with an NSA connection.
The U.S. company
and has been there as long as it's been. I mean, if you start doing the math, you start realizing, like, now, how much XRP do you need? One last question. How much XRP do you need? What's the least amount someone should have? I own 10,000 XRPs. Is that enough? You think I'm good?
10,000. I think 10,000. If you're just trying to invest, 10,000 is good enough. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how much I have, but 10,000 is good enough. I mean, I've been dollar cost averaging since. I mean, I was buying them when it was 14 cents, 17 cents, 20 cents. We were in a bear market for a long time, so I scooped it up.
Anthony Sulo. Shout out to you, man. To the moon and beyond. He says 5,000 to 10,000. Yeah. Shout out to the Sulas, man. All right, man. I got to run. I got a tutoring session that I'm late for. I hope that person can understand. I'll be like, hey, man, we were doing a lot on XRP. But we'll see you guys in the next live stream. I'll be back tomorrow at 9:30. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when we post our next video. And remember, ready? 1, 2, 3. Crypto is life.
Crypto is life.
Be safe.
Yeah,